Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great day. It is so windy and cold here today. It's absolutely horrible. However, I'm thinking, okay, we have sun, we have wind, and we have all this mud, and hopefully it will dry it up a little bit. Like I said, I hope you all are doing great today. Oh, it's actually really nice right here in the sun. Um, I have a lot to do this coming week, so I'm kind of setting my goals for planting, putting seedings in, and getting that back little garden area started. So that's kind of my goals for this week, is to work on gardening. Um, I'm also going to try to get Solomon to start going to the store with me again, because he just doesn't want to get in the truck and go. And it really drives me crazy, because there's so many days where he only gets to work so long and I have to go running, and I could take him with me, and he just doesn't want to get in the truck. So I'm really having a hard time with that. And so I'm really going to work with him and see if I can get him to start getting back into the truck again and go with me, because oh my gosh, they love him in every store and he loves being there, but for some reason he doesn't want to get in the truck with me. So I'm going to be working on that this week. Um, I'm so sad. This morning I went up to let my one coop of chickens out, and all my Brahmas were gone. So I actually walked away with tears in my eyes, because that was sad. And I really am reeling from it. But with the sale of 6 dozen eggs to the person and my 6 chickens, I'm going to go stock up on some chicken feed. So they gave their lives to feed their sister hens. I know some people just probably won't get that. But anyway, oh, I don't want to cry again. Those are kind of like the goals this week, is to go and get feeds and stock up on some more feeds again, because we've really, went through some feeds with all the chickens we had and not being able to go out and hunt. And so my younger girls are like, yay, they're now hunting again. The back barn, I didn't turn them out today. I do still need to get rid of those 2 roosters, though. So I still have my sign out, free roosters. But man, they're just nice roosters, and they would make a really good flock leader. Anyway, enough of that. Let's have a talk. Well, as you know, I am not a Trump supporter. The sweet tater that you all know as Trump is half baked. And I'm just not sure how to go with this video, except for the fact that, he doesn't learn his lessons very well. And being so disgusting to women, he still doesn't get it. So I would be shocked if there wasn't another lawsuit for defaming E.G. Carroll. Eugene Carroll. He can't keep his mouth shut, you guys, and that's gonna be his downfall. Um, I started reading a little bit about Florida today, though, and I'm quite disappointed about what's going on down there. Um, when something was said that slavery, or blacks benefited from slavery, I like to fell off the couch. I read that and I was like, what? I'm a little behind because I'm so busy all the time. And so I come in, I check everything out, and then I move on. But when I heard that that's what they're trying to pass as part of the history teachings in Florida schools, I'm baffled at why anyone would think that. Um, you know, I'm not sure how to say this, but that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. When I heard it, I was like, how do you decipher that into reality? Um, I was once told a joke out here by some guys, and they thought it was really funny. And I don't know if it would be appropriate for me to tell the joke because I just looked at them like they had five heads. Um, but slavery did not benefit blacks of today in any way, shape, or form. These people were brought to our nation in chains. They were bred and used like livestock. And then their family members that they had, their children, were auctioned off and families were separated. They did not live well. And I really have a hard time with this. And so I'm going to really do a little more research into it. But I could not believe that was said. And I would believe that if I was a parent of a black child, I would be absolutely pulling my child from school if that's how they're going to teach. Yeah, that's the case that I would say you would need to homeschool. If they're not going to teach critical thinking, they're not going to teach critical race thinking, but they want to teach that blacks benefited from slavery, I don't get it. That's the part of the public school that bothers me. Not being woke, because woke means that you have empathy, understanding, and you're not a racist or a sexist, or you don't want to. I don't know. I'm just at a loss for words right now. It's something I haven't talked about yet, but you hear Republicans wanting to change the curriculum of schools, but they want to change the history of the things that make them look bad. Well, slavery was bad. And someone to say, well, slavery was in the Bible. That doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it right. So yeah, I'm quite upset over that, really, actually. I could not believe that they would say that. So let's talk about this just a little bit. Um, Soul food. For you that like soul food, I mean, I love it. I could eat it. I love it. As a matter of fact, when I was the activity director at a long-term facility, I had several black residents, and the white residents. And now remember, these are old people. These aren't younger people. These are old people. They're set in their ways. They have their ways. They say things they shouldn't say. Like when my grandmother went to the candy counter and asked for Entos, which are the chocolate covered creams, to a black lady at the candy counter. I was a little kid and I was like, what? Freaked me out. Or Brazil nuts. She'd call them that too. I'm like, what is wrong? And my mom would just look at me like, let it go. And then, of course, when I'd be in the car, my mom would say, don't ever, ever call those things that. I'm like, I won't. But it was shocking. But anyway, it was Black History Month, and I did a whole soul food buffet. I have this huge cast iron skillet. I filled that with cornbread. I made this huge corn pone. Um, we did chicken wings, greens, macaroni and cheese. Um, I had pickled pig's feet there. I had everything in the world on that table. And everybody was eating and they loved it. And then I started talking to these people. And one of my black residents, he worked in the town um, as part of their maintenance for years, and he retired from there. And as I was walking by and I'm serving my people, he grabbed my hand and he says, "I want to thank you." And he started crying, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "Please don't! You're gonna make me cry." And he's like, "Do you understand that no one has ever done anything like that for us ever?" And I said, "There's nothing wrong with it." But when I was speaking, you know, I told this whole group of older people while they're all eating and having a good time, um, about what soul food was. Soul food was the scraps of the slave owners. And so I told them, I said, "You are eating the scraps of the kitchen." And actually, the only thing that were considered scraps was the chicken wings, because they never used them in the dietary department. So I said, "Okay," I said, "for the next 3 weeks, save me every bag of chicken wings that come with your chicken deliveries." And so for 3 weeks, they saved these huge bags of chicken wings. And I mean, I had tons of them. I had every flavor you can imagine: hot, barbecued, herbed. I mean, I had pans of it everywhere. And, but when I was talking to the residents, some of the white folks, older folks, I think that was the first time they were told that their behaviors and what they say to our other residents are very hurtful. And that was a very humbling experience. So when I hear something like, you know, blacks benefited from slavery, I just, that absolutely, it eats at my soul. And I can't, I just can't. But that's all I wanted to say. Um, just remember, when you see this stuff going on, it's not right. It's not right. Teaching children exactly what history is and what hurts people and how their ancestors were treated, and then teaching the white kids, same with them, they'll have a better understanding of what actually happened and why the Confederate flag is so damning. Because, the Ku Klux Klan adopted the rebel flag, Confederate flag. So that was just something I wanted to get off my chest. Y'all have a great day. Hugs from a distance. And remember, everyone is important. Everyone's history, truthfully, is important. Bye, y'all. Hugs from a distance.